button.
Good evening. Hope you're well. Nicola, can you check that I've got that lined up?
Yeah.
Please. Thank you very much. And Nicola might move the camera and the tripod just in a moment. Is it okay?
Yeah, just mind your speed sizer.
Cool. What are you trying to do?
Just want to tilt it a bit further.
Or you twist the handle on the pan handle.
Right, okay. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. That'll do. Got your head in now.
So it's got my head in and the word.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Nicola. If I was on my own, I'd be using my bit of string, of course, but Nicola's here to assist. So, yeah, good evening, everybody. I hope you've had a great Sunday. We've been
Instagram, now, Christopher, none, 71 liked your video.
I might get a few Instagram notifications and others. I apologise for that, but it's life in the real world and we are live, so many apologies. Nicola's watching in the wings and she's got a laptop, she can tell me of anything I need to do. So anyway, welcome. Yes, as the title suggests, I'm going to do a piece of maple, it's not very thick, a maple bowl, but I'm going to show you a technique, a very simple technique to texture the rim and do a simple coloured effect. Something that Tracy Owen showed me when I had a class with him not long after I'd started wood turning and was
Instagram, now, D. Clark 74 liked your video.
And colouring. So anyway, for those of you that haven't seen it, and I'm sure a lot of you have, but this is our new speed sizer that I invented, and it came about because of the wooden disc that I've been using to mark the tenons and mortises on my work.
Instagram,
So
now, Val Hilkeblas liked your video.
A design with a few more holes that just ran horizontally on my prototype, and then I had an aluminium prototype made by Wagger Potter, and we took that to Axminster, and Axminster said yeah, they loved the idea. Colwyn Way loved the idea, and said it was very, very clever. And the ones that look like braille, they correspond to the jaws available in the Axminster range, so you can quickly, safely and infinitely repeatable find the correct size mortise or tenon for the jaws that you're using at the moment, or your preferred jaws. And these holes that run vertically here, they're numbered. These are lettered to correspond to like C jaws and D jaws in the Axminster range. These are just numbered, so if you have another brand, another make of jaws, there's enough holes on this disc here really to cover probably every jaw size. So all you have to do is mark up your jaws with a bit of tape or a label that's the same as either the letter or the number, and jobs are good. So we're going to get started now, and I'll show you how quick and easy this is to use. It's just an evolution of that. So thank you very much to Axminster Tools and Machinery for taking the idea and getting the boffins on it and doing the prototyping to the next level, and the machining and the production. But it's on sale now, $19.99.
Something like that.
Something like that, $19.99.
I'll find
It's made 135mm aluminium, lasts forever, obviously precision made, and yeah, yours truly would really, really appreciate it. And it's my mission to get one of these in every wood turning workshop, every wood turner school, and we can get away from finicky measuring, dangerous, offering up calipers or dividers, and have one of these in your toolbox, and you know you're going to get it spot on every time. And I've just uploaded a video to Instagram. Phil Irons was saying, yeah, I love the idea, but would it work for spindle blanks and hollow forms and things like that? And the answer is yes. I've just done a very quick video of what I would do Although on the video I used a pencil, so it was easy for you guys to see. I'd of course use a scratch awl. Anyway, enough, let's crack on. As they say up here in Manchester. So,
right, shall I just tell you who's watching?
yes, please.
There's Georgina Igbokwe,
Good evening,
Wayne
Georgina.
the Woodturner,
Hi, Wayne.
Mike Atkinson,
Alright, bro.
David McLeod,
Instagram. Now, Arjerasak liked your video.
Something from the Shed,
Yes.
Wivey Woodshed,
Yes.
Steve Coombs,
Good evening, everybody.
Andy Harris,
Big shout out to everybody, no matter where you are in the world. A lot of people from the States here now.
Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft,
Evening, Wayne.
Flaming Turner,
Hiya.
Chris
Instagram. Now,
Catton,
Paul Will Anderson's liked your photo.
AH Bespoke. I think that's everybody.
Alright, okay, cool. Thank you
Turn
so
the voiceover off on this. Will that stop it talking?
Yeah.
I'll turn the voiceover off.
Well, you have to, yeah, just hold. Nicola's just going to turn the voiceover off. I'm not finding it distracting, but Nicola is.
No, I'm just thinking it
If
might
you're
be for
hearing
other
it.
people.
Right, so
Right.
press and hold.
Instagram.
Back on it.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So I'm not going to get any notifications that are audible. So, be afraid. Anyway, how do I use this? Simplicity itself. The centre hole there. Now you could hold this in place with a brad awl and then just spin this by hand. I like using a bit of power. So you just hold that in place. You don't want to crank this up uber tight. This needs to just spin freely a little bit. I find it's the best way. And then I like to rest the brad awl on the tool rest again, because I'm blind, just belts and braces. So basically the brad awl's in place there. I know that that's the right hole for the jaws I'm using this evening. Scratch line, tactile, there it is, that easy. Super safe, super fast, repeatable, repeatable, repeatable. So that's that. So we can actually carry on now with the project. So yeah, this is a piece of maple donated by my wood sponsor, British Hardwoods. Get the old face shield on. So again, feel for where my centre point is, a bit high there. Of course you guys would use a pencil. And that's gone in at an angle. So I'm going to stop now. Never ever be tempted while your work's spinning and your tool rest is there. If you want to go in there and feel your work, let's be all, cognizant about this. If I was to go in there to feel that while it's spinning and my fingers got trapped, you're either going to get degloved or get some fingers broken. So if your work is spinning and you want to feel, let's say you've been sanding and you want to feel, get that tool rest out of the way. So I'm going to mark the position of my foot now. So again, I'm giving myself reference points and wiggle room. You know, I'm working in complete blackness here, in complete darkness. You know, I'm totally blind. So you know, I don't want to take any risks. So I give myself lots and lots of reference points. It's how I work. So what I do is I'll write up flat on the bed and I can feel where that is, so I know that this isn't going in cockeyed. So I'll plant it, lock it into my stomach there, then I can lock it off. So it's all this I'm having to think about. That's why it's so bloody exhausting to be a woodturner when you're blind. But it just goes to show that you can do it. Again, just that self-belief and tenacity. Can hear the wind picking up out there.
It is.
So feel for where I need to be. That's right. I can turn the speed up a bit now.
So Chris is doing a demo and I'm doing the comments on YouTube for him.
Sorry?
I'm just doing a little live on my Instagram.
Now I'm getting some knocking there. I think it's needs a bit of a sharpening that. Have a feel. Again, I can leave the tool rest in place there. Just have a feel of how I'm going. Stoppy woppy. That's feeling good now. Lovely, right. Just stop that again. Wonderful. Right, we'll start getting some shape onto this now. So I've got my bowl gouge. And it's got a nice and sharp, very swept back grind on it. And that way, when I'm getting close to the foot, because I can't see how it's presenting, and even to feel it is a gamble, that grind, I've put that grind on to compensate. So change into this now. So I'll have a stop, have a feel, see how I'm progressing. It's quite a tough piece of maple, this. Start working that around now. So I've got him nice and tight to that foot. Again, start bringing this. Keep working it around, feeling and listening to what's going on. And it's completely up to you as to the shape you want to impart on it. You know, you could go sort of like modern or classical, entirely up to you. So the texturing technique, you might have seen it before, it's very simple to do. You do need a texturing tool. So, now there's a lot of vibration in this wood for some reason, so I don't know if there's a bit of instability. So, so what I've done is I've changed how I'm holding the tool, just responding to that vibration and taking lighter cuts. Again, I've stopped, so I need to pick up the cut. Defining the shape here.
There's a few more on there as well.
Hi guys. So yeah, I'm giving this a bit of an OG shape. A very classic shape. So I'm just thinning that rim out now. The heater's just kicked on, but it's on a thermostat, so it's obviously dropped in temperature a bit. Oh, if you're still there, Nick, I was listening to your live stream this afternoon, the one where you put the hot glue on and then you were trying to peel it off and then leave the sort of like the black showing. I've had a thought, what might be easier, and now if you got yourself some liquid latex, that peels off a lot easier. It's just like peeling off a very thin layer of rubber, not hot glue. So if you did your black base first and then got a brush and brushed on your design with liquid latex, hit it gently with the hairdryer again, it'll firm up in no time at all once the ammonia's flashed off in it, and then you can put your colour on the top and then just literally with your finger you just be able to peel the latex off. So yeah, I like the concept. It's just that hot glue just seemed like to be, you know, having a right good grab on. So it was just something that popped in my head. So let me know what you think.
Glyn says masking paint.
Yeah, you can get masking paint. Masking paint or liquid latex. Masking paint's great. A lot of modelers use that. And that's just coming from my home haunting days. So a very light pencil spot here now. Getting some nice little delicate faders off just on this radius from ye olde foot. Any questions?
Nick says he'll try and find some. He said he tried it again this afternoon. He put black spirit stain, then glue, then sprayed it. The glue didn't stick that much, but pulled some of the gold paint up this time.
Yeah, I think it's too aggressive. it's a great idea for doing what you'd call, it's like being a resist in engraving and things like that. So it is basically being a resist. So yeah, you'll get it anywhere. Hobbycraft, obviously the internet. And it'll basically be like, and I don't want to gross anybody out, but you know when you go and get a good suntan and then your skin starts peeling, you know, just a couple of thin layers of latex, and it'll just be like, you know, your skin peeling. Blech. Blech. But you get the idea. So we're just getting in nice, close and personal with a scraper.
Fred Taylor says frisket.
Says what?
Frisket.
Frisket.
Is what airbrushers used for masking.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's lots of, like I say, the one that popped in my head was liquid latex. So there's one option. Masking.
Blue edge lock masking tape.
Yeah, again, but you need to get the very thin one, and as you're going around, curl it. You need a bit more finesse for masking tape like that. I think if you've not got sort of like great automotive skills and body repair and things, I'd definitely be going for the frisket or liquid latex. Yeah, but I was listening with interest, Nick, and I thought, oh, close but no cigar. So, yeah, I was just thinking of ways that you could have success with that idea.
Wayne Bigfoot says they use something similar at work for masking, but that's £300 a litre and resists acid. Ice speckled hens masking fluid is used by watercolour painters. The cat and the fish, was it base coat that made it harder? Live later.
There you go, Nick. Anyway, lots of food for thought. I know latex would definitely work. So, just drop this down a tad. Just get the pip of doom out of the way. So yeah, if you're going to feel, get that tool rest out of the way. Obviously on demos, when you're under time constraints, so, you know, and you want to be, well me, I need to be having a feel and thinking, flipping heck, I've only got an hour left. You know, I'll hit the stop button and slide that out the way, then feel. Never be tempted to be leaving your tool rest there. And don't be thinking, oh, it's fine, it'll never happen to me, I've done it 1,000 times. Famous last words. Right. Just getting closer to that. Got my square edge scraper here now.
The cat and the fish says nice shape.
Thank you, cat and fish. That's better. So yeah, your classic OG design, which is also a very, very popular router cutter design and shape, also known as the Roman OG. Roman. Could have gone for a classic catenary curve. Right, lubbly jubbly. Wasn't me, I didn't do it, can't prove anything. Whatever the hell that was. So, get some sanding action. I won't have the dust distractor on, but I'm going to wear a mask. You'll still hear me though. Anyone got any questions? Whoops. So this will help keep the dust down.
I'm just going to go and get a drink.
Okay. Did you not do yourself one?
No. Are you alright with your tea?
You can do me another one, please. Thank you. Rightio folks, so Nicola's just gone to get herself a drink. So I can't answer any questions at the moment. Turn the speed down. So just taking my time, like to support my hand. And this is the time when it's perfectly safe to be feeling what you're doing. Tool rest is out of the way, sleeves are strapped up. Take your time. Again. How I feel. And remember, Hold your paper at an angle if you want to sand the inside of your foot so you don't lose that dovetail. Give it a clean. Put some more paper wax on. Lubricate it. Nicola's back.
I'm back.
Is Baz on?
I'm not sure, I've not seen him yet. Let me just have a look. Steve Coombs said, I'll be needing a haircut before long, and I was wondering if you could do a how-to video so my beautiful wife could watch before coming after me with sharp instruments. Please and thank you.
Definitely.
The cat and the fish, just get a razor, run it through your hair, done. Stace Mates, hey Chris and Nicola and birthday Bamba.
Hi Stacey.
Ice Speckled Hens is in the same boat, can't go to the hair lopper with lockdown. They've obviously not seen that video of you cutting my hair.
So, what you do, ladies, if you're struggling to have someone cut your hair, go and find the local blind or visually impaired person in your area and ask them to do it, because we do a fantastic job. Because it's, you know, it's all about touch and control.
Somebody said, what's in the tin? What is that you're using to brush on?
Basically, it's a mix of beeswax, lemon oil and mineral oil. So it helps keep the dust down. It clogs the paper up quickly. But if I was using the power sander with the hook and loop disc on the backing pad, or you're using a self-propelled bowl sander like the Axminster or the Simon Hope one, you can get a steel brush and clean them. I don't bother with a bit of paper. So yeah, it helps keep the dust down. I've not got the dust extraction on doing a live and talking, but it helps lubricate the wood, keep the dust down. Aid sanding, you can do it power sanding or freehand.
Mike Atkinson's giving you $10.
Oh, thank you, Mike. We'll do you proud and spend it on hooch. So Mike Atkinson, he's followed me from the start. You know, I've got many dear friends, but Mike and I have kept in touch, and he's like a brother from another mother. And back in the day, I even sent Mike and his dad the sort of like the ancestry scroll from the night shop at Conway.
Oh right, yeah.
So the genesis of the name Atkinson and where it's from.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so Mike lives in Peoria, Illinois. So a bit more than a 10-minute drive away. Otherwise I'd have been there about 50 times. So we're standing up to 240 and then we'll seal it and use Yorkshire grits. I said it!
He says he cherishes the gifts from deep within my heart.
Oh. That's wonderful. See, it fits. You know, for a minute you think, oh my god, I hope I've got my calculations right on that speed sizer.
Somebody, Brian BM, has asked, what is the new badge on your tunic?
Which one?
Well, I mean, just, you may, I don't know.
Right,
if you said
okay.
which one, but
That's a little badge that says Chestnut Products. So Chestnut Products, Terry and the team, they support me. They're one of my supporters. So I'm flying the colours. These two on this side, this is the Register of Professional Turners, and this is the Worshipful Company of Turners. So I'm the first blind person to ever pass the accreditation to become an RPT, Registered Professional Turner. The Worshipful Company of Turners has been in existence since the 12th century. So they're all in the Guildhall, Skinner's Hall in London, and then that's just me, Chris Fisher RPT. So I'm entitled, well, I've earned the letters after my name. You're entitled to use them, so I do. And I'm sure there's people out there that go, yeah, whatever, what a big deal. For someone that's blind, it's a huge deal to be the first ever RPT, first ever blind RPT. And for people that don't appreciate what that means, they can go and suck it.
the one with the two columns, well, that's the bottom one.
Oh right, yeah, that's the Worshipful Company of Turners. So that's been in existence since the 12th century when they first got their existence really as a guild, the 12th century, and then in the very early 1600s it received its royal charter from King James, I think. So this is 240 now.
Smells nice.
Mm. Super. So,
Kuram says he's seen you live at Harrogate and can't believe that you're able to turn, and still can't believe you're able to turn the stuff you do.
well, thank you very much. Very kind words. that's really nice, and I appreciate that. It's the Chris Fisher trademark there. But yes, I get it. But also, if you ever doubted yourself that you're capable of amazing things, stop doubting yourself. Believe you are. I can do this, and I'm blind. That's because I believe in myself so much, and I've got a lot of passion and patience. And you know, with those attributes, you can achieve anything. So if you're out there and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I couldn't possibly do that," you can. Stop pissing about and get on with it, and you'll be amazed at what you can do. La 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 la. So I'm going to seal the work now. You're still warm enough, Nicola?
Yeah, thank you.
Got a generous glug of sanding sealer.
The cat and the fish says, can you send a bottle of that self-esteem? So I think it's she can sniff it and also get full of it.
You've already got it. It's no mystery, you've already got it. Sometimes it can take a while to find it, but you've got it. Right. Everybody's got it. Everybody. Oh, nice. I like a nice botty. A nice bacon botty. So I'm just going to denib now.
Debbie Beardall says, not only do you have great talent, you must have a great memory.
I've got an amazing memory. Nicola, what is my memory like, even when it's not wood turning?
Well, awesome.
For anything and everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Films, actors in films, music.
Trivia, maths, science.
Yeah.
You know, geography.
The Big Bang Theory script.
Yeah. Well, we're both very good. No, I've got an amazing memory, I always have. But it's even sharper now with having gone blind. Bada boom, bada bing. So, finish with the sealer for now. Oh, she's there. So this is Nye Web, just to denib. Comes in quite a few different flavours.
Kuram said, is that just a kitchen scouring pad?
That's, well, it is, but this is a, you know, a brand. It's called Nye Web, and it's also made by companies called like Scotch Brite. It is a posh kitchen scourer, you're quite right. But that one's...
But they have different
grits,
don't they?
Yeah, different. They're colour coded for different grits. I've used a few different ones. you don't want to use something too coarse.
What's that you're using now?
I'm using Yorkshire Grit, Nicola.
Oh,
And this
Yorkshire
is
Grit.
an
What's
an abrasive paste. This is the original formula. So I'm just applying it by hand first without the work spinning, and then I'm going to work it in first at slow speed, just to make sure it's evenly distributed over the work. And also it stops it getting flung off. Every penny counts.
Yeah.
And we want the product to stay on the work to do the job. You don't want it splattering all over your face and the ceiling.
JP says he didn't hear what you said then. What is it you're using again?
Yorkshire Grit. So I can still hear it cutting and working. So I'm keeping the speed slowish, but increasing it every 30 seconds or so.
Brian says 2 questions.
Yeah.
Does Boss clean up after your work?
No.
And when are you moving to the new workshop?
Well, I answer the first one. No, I do all the tidying up because everything has to go back to its default position. Because if someone put something back and I couldn't find it, I won't be a happy camper. And we move to the new workshop when, you know, people are allowed probably to, you know, the solicitors and conveyancing side and the legal thing still seems to be progressing. Although I don't think they'll be rushing at the moment because they know we can't move. But as soon as the slacken off the restrictions because of the virus, you know, I think we'll be getting a move.
Start moving then, shouldn't it?
Hopefully it'll be this year.
I hope so.
Turn the speed up now and buff this well in. And I can't hear any cuts. So you make sure it's worked well in, and then we can go on to the microfine. So, same process. Work it in by hand. Keep the speed low. And if you've got some texture in the base, like I have, don't just put the Yorkshire Grit straight in there. Get a big dollop it and it'll just hide all your texture and detail. And you'll be having to just finesse it out later. So when there's just a little bit left on the cloth, then I get in there and just give it a bit of therapy.
Will the new workshop, this is JP, will the new workshop be set up the same as this one to help you out a bit more, or will you have to learn the new setup all over again?
No, it's going to be laid out differently. A bit more like when I went to Nick Hagar's workshop. He had his lathes all down one wall, you know, albeit half a dozen of them, and you know, and the benches were staggered at an angle. I liked that layout. So no, it's going to be a different layout, but the fact that I'll be doing it myself and putting everything in place will go a long way to helping me remember. So we found out from the search and the survey that the workshop used to be the old barn, didn't it, on the coach house? Yeah, so just work this microfine in now. So remember folks, the original has pumice powder, the microfine has aluminium oxide. And that should be fine and dandy like sour candy. So, I'm going to get some friction polish on now. Give this a shake. And remember, just a couple of drops. So I feel this land on the paper just a few times. I just let it soak in for a second so it doesn't stick to the work. And just light pressure at first. Very light pressure. And then you can press a bit harder as the polish sets up. And really it's a bit of buffing. And then a second application, another couple of drops. And there you go. How's that look?
Looks nice.
So,
What wood do you think it is?
I think it's maple. So what I'm going to do now is just undo, make sure that the lathe's got the speed turned right down and I've hit the emergency stop button. And I'm just releasing the two set screws.
Can you hear the difference between wood types?
Yeah, sometimes, but as it's better for me as a gauge, the actual feel and the smell of it. Some obviously, you know, things like this is quite a hard piece of maple, and you can tell oak and ash straight away, things like that, and elm is very distinctive, sapele, purple heart as well, things that are very sort of like quite dusty. Another tip as well, please keep hold of your work and spin your hand wheel, because if you're spinning this off like that, guarantee you will either drop it and it'll land on the bedways and chip, or it'll roll off everywhere. So hold your work, spin your hand wheel, and then that's going nowhere. In the early days I used to spin that and and even if you've got like the hobby lathe like I've got, and it's got the fold back plastic cover, of just open it up and hold the hand wheel, get a good grip on it and spin your work off. You know, you're putting a lot of time and effort into your work, so you don't want to spin it off and throw it around the workshop. You know, I'm just speaking through experience. Helps if I put the screwdriver in the screw. Remove the face plate. Move your work out of the way. And saying when you're putting your chuck on, hold your chuck, spin your hand wheel. And just get into these good safety practices. you know, that's more about protecting your work and your equipment as opposed to protecting yourself. You know, you don't want to be throwing your chuck all over the floor and banging it and clanging it and taking dinges and dinks, because these things are heavy, as you all know. So, la, la, la. Right, so I'm nipping up the chuck, and don't forget to clean your chuck as well. Make sure there's nothing on there that can scratch your work. Hold that in place. Expand the jaws. Just light pressure. You don't want to overwork it because you'll crack your foot.
Kuram says chucks are heavy. I might have accidentally dropped a big 4-jaw chuck at college.
Ooh. Yeah, they're heavy, and you don't want it to. Imagine if you've got, well, you've not got any toe protection in your shoes, and you're spinning it off, and it rolls on the floor, and then on your foot. Youch. So what I'm going to do now is spin the lathe up and stand clear and have a listen. So I'm listening for any danger sounds, any wobbles, any knocks, and that sounds good. So we can just face this up now. So feel for where the little screw holes are. I just want to be to the right, to the left of them. So we're not going to hog this out. We'll hog this out quickly. Part ways. Again, wait for the lathe to come to speed. Need to drop the tool rest just a little bit. Wait for it to stop before I get close. So we're going to part hog this out. This will do for now. We can finish hogging it out later. So what I'm going to do is just, even though I'm going to get the texturing tool on it in a second, again, just wait for it to stop. Bless you.
Thank you.
Right, so we're going to get the big texturing tool on this now. So this is Tracy Owen, the inventor of the texturing tool. This is his new and improved version. So what we're going to do, speed sounds alright, and I just need to make sure it's at the right height. So you can see that. Can you see that? Sorry.
It's a bit delayed. Yeah, just about, I think.
Right. So what we've got there is I went quite hard because you want this to be quite a gnarly texture. If it's sort of like quite low and smooth, you won't get the effect. Because what we're going to do is I'm just going to denib it a bit. Not too much. And then I'm going to fire up the airbrush. Ooh, baby. So, feel for the plug. I spend all my life feeling for stuff. Well, what can you do? So we're going to plug in the compressor and turn it on. So whilst that is just coming up to pressure, here is my airbrush, dual action. It's got a mag valve on it. Dual action, you push down for air and then back for paint. I've also fitted the additional moisture trap that came with it. So I'm going to put some black stain in this, and then we're going to cover this with black stain, and then we're going to hit it with some abrasive, and the high spots are going to have the stain removed a little, and then we're going to apply some red stain over the top, so it'll give you almost sort of like a fiery phoenix feather look. This is dead easy to do. You saw me do it. It took 10 seconds with a texturing tool.
What bevel angles do you set your negative rake scrapers to?
I don't. My scraper's 60 degrees. My round nose one. The other one, I bought that second hand from a second hand tool shop. So I never measured it. What I did was I just set up the angle on the tarmac on the universal tool rest, and I just check with a feeler gauge, funnily enough, which is in here somewhere. Good question though. I have this very, very thin feeler gauge, so the square scraper, once it's at the right angle, I can't get the feeler gauge down the top, so I know that it's right then. But my round nose is 60 degrees, I know that. The other one, I don't know. I should measure it really, but I can't read the angles on the angle finders, so that's why I've not. So I hope that sort of answered your question. So I'm going to get some black staining, folks. It's chestnut black spirit stain. You can use, if you want, ebonising lacquer out of a rattle can, or satin black from the car shop. Entirely up to you. And then what I use is I've got a pipette. So I'm going to use that rather than me pour it all over the workshop. I've got the airbrush clamped in the vise gently. Put the cup cap on. Make sure I've got some pressure in the airbrush. I'm just adjusting the regulator now. So I'm just adjusting. Winding the mag valve. Not that much. So these are great, these ones. They've got the mag valve which controls the air. Obviously you control by the screw at the back how far you pull back the trigger. You don't want this coming out like a maniac. And then we're going to have this spinning slow. And it doesn't matter, we're going to get overspray on the inside edge because we've not hollowed it out to its entirety yet. So protect the bedways. So I just need to feel for where I'm going to be here now. And I can go as slow as I like. And I can tell by the sound of the air. So the air changed there now. So let's just open that up actually a bit. So the sound changes. Right there. Let's have a... Has that got it all, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
So I listen to the sound change and it is a very accurate method. You lot probably haven't dialed into that because you can see, but I use my hearing.
What PSI are you using?
Probably about 25, no more than 30. No need to over pressurise. And what I like to do is, before I forget, I'll be putting some red through this, don't forget. So I can give it a bit of a clean. Got some thinners here. So got it in a little atomizer. So I'll just give that a quick flush through with thinners. Never leave thinners sat in your airbrush. It can degrade your seals.
Oh, poor seals.
Yeah. So just use it initially to get rid of all the gunk. This airbrush will be cleaned thoroughly tomorrow.
Have you ever used a syringe to take out some stain and place it in your airbrush?
No, use a pipette.
Use a pipette.
Yeah. I haven't got a syringe, but I know they're readily available everywhere, so...
I've got some.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you use them for your fountain pens?
Yeah, when I get to the bottom of an ink bottle, you can't get the last bits of ink, so I use a syringe.
All right.
Not a sharp one. You can get special craft ones. But then you can get all the ink and fill your pen up with that.
Right, well... Always start your hairdryer away from your work as well, because if you've got dust in this, you're just going to fire it all over your piece. Nice and slow.
Is it alcohol paint?
Spirit stain, yes. So you can use methylated or denatured alcohol. It's not as aggressive as thinning. So I'm going to get a piece of 240, not 230. There you go when you've got toothache, 230. So nice and slow-ish. So that should be removing paint.
Yeah.
Stain rather.
Tubby Turner's asking where you got your smock from.
Phil Lovell, was it? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lovell Workwear.
Yeah, Lovell Workwear.
It looked really grey until you blew the airline on it.
Yeah. So there should be some wood showing through now.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we are. I'm just... Cool. So, there you have it. You've knocked back a lot of colour. Well, not, I won't say lots of colour, but you've knocked back the colour. So what you need now is the next colour of your choice In my case, I'm going for red. So,
Wayne Bigfoot said Valerie was using the Proxon today, but first she did a crash course with your videos for inspiration.
oh right, cool. Well, if you can send those pictures over, please, and Nicola can describe them to me, that'd be really cool.
Chris, what's a Proxon?
A Proxon is a long neck mini angle grinder. So it can do all the, albeit light duty version of, all the jobs that a big angle grinder can do: grinding, polishing, cutting off, sanding. But the small, very manageable, great for power carving. Now I've got the Proxon, and then Arthur Aveling of King Arthur's Tools and Nick Agar got in touch and asked if I'd like to use the Nick Agar Signature Series Merlin 2. So I said, yeah, of course I will. So they sent me that. So I'm using the variable speed Merlin 2 now. It is fantastic, but you can get exactly the same results if you own a Proxon. If you don't own a Proxon, I would encourage you to buy a Merlin 2, because they support me. So by supporting them, you're supporting me. But if you've already got a Proxon, yes, brilliant. Valerie's got one, Valerie Gilbert. If you haven't got a Proxon, save up and get a Merlin 2.
Baz says he's loving this.
Loving it, Bazza. Right, so, oh yeah, Baz, you need to be having a go at this, man. Very simple and effective. So, we're going to get this. And actually, I need to mention, I'm going here, down on this side, because if you go on here, you can be getting overspray around the edge. This way, you're sort of firing it off and away into the distance. It's harder to get any overspray on the back side. So, again, feel for where I need to be. Reasonably slow speed. Down for air, back for paint. So we can have just a, how's that looking?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going slower to get more colour in. Get more vibrant red. How's that looking?
Yeah, that's better.
Good?
Yeah.
Good coverage. So, again, I was listening for the sound. Get one more. I can hear the sound clicking that edge now.
There was a question, what's your main compressor as it's very quiet?
This isn't the main compressor, this is a dedicated airbrush compressor. They're about, range between £70 and £100. This one has the built-in tank, so it's just charging up now because I've been using it, and it's going to recharge and shut off. You can get them without the tank, and they'll run continuously, but bear in mind that 15-minute work time, and then turn it off and let it have a rest. This will turn itself off and rest. So,
Jeff Christie says, Chris, do you ever get people doubt your sight issues because of what you do? I have. So I'm guessing he must have sight issues.
all the time, and it can be infuriating. Basically, that is discrimination. And even when people say to me, I can't believe you're doing what you're doing, Chris, and you're blind, that's discrimination, even though I let it go. There's a classic line in the film Philadelphia where Tom Hanks gets AIDS and he's sacked, and when he's in the library researching his case, there's a definition that's the classic essence of discrimination, where you are not credited because of your own merits. You're lumped into the class of the other people around you with the disability. So instead of people saying, Chris, that is amazing, that's brilliant, as soon as they start saying, that's amazing, but we can't believe you do that when you're blind, they're discriminating against you, because they're assuming that everybody with blind has zero talent and should be locked up in a room to dribble. So yeah, it happens all the time. The problem is with them. They can't believe I'm doing it because they're not pushing themselves hard enough. That's my conclusion, and that's my answer to it. People that doubt what I'm able to do, they need to take a good look at themselves and realise I am not pushing myself. I push myself so hard and have done since I took up wood turning. It's hard to convey and put into words, as you know. Anything is possible by anybody. I've said this before. And for those people that question it, really it's because they know that they're not pushing themselves hard enough. So they take a cheap shot and say, I can't believe you're doing that and you're blind. Well, you better believe it, and you better pull your thumb out of your ass and catch up to me, because they're just lying to themselves. That's my answer. So yes, lots of people have said it. I'm not going to mention any names actually, but at a woodworking show somebody came up to me who was a woodturner at the show, and they'd had a couple to drink, and they said to me, because you're blind, does that mean you're a good woodturner, or does it mean that because you're blind you're shit? By rights I should have ripped his head off and gone to town on him, but I couldn't be bothered. But, I mean, what a horrible thing to say. You're a woodturner, so does that mean you're good? Or does it mean because you're blind? Well, the exact words were shit. Because you're blind, does it mean you're good, or does it mean you're shit? So, yeah, I've had, just idiots out there. So what we're going to do now is, in fact, I shall get my depth gauge. I mean, there are blind kids out there doing slalom skateboarding, and there's a blind kid that does downhill mountain biking, and you know, it's just people that are ignorant and stupid and thick, insensitive, and because they can't possibly conceive that they could ever do it, if they can't do it, that means you can't do it. And it's just hogwash, really. Hogwash. They just need to take a good look at themselves, my friend, and question what they're doing. I hope that answered that question. I was feeling a bit ranty then.
You were a bit ranty.
And, you know, it's like, I've said this before as well, you know, I mean, flipping heck. You know, you can't just walk into a guide dog centre, you know, and say, oh, I'd like that £57,000 dog, please. Oh, are you blind? Oh, yeah, of course I am. Oh, yeah, well, here's a dog then. The amount of background checks and everything you have to do to get a dog, the assessments, the application, goes in front of some, you know, adjudication panel. You know, and you have to send in your certificate of blindness, and how hard it is to get a disabled badge these times. And what are you laughing at?
Jeff said, sorry Chris, I started you off.
Yeah, Jeff.
Somebody's just said, what was that gadget you just used?
Sorry.
You just used your depth gauge or something?
Yeah, sorry. This was something that was made for me by Brendan in Ireland, Bacon Soda. So it's a depth gauge for us blind woodturners. So this is calibrated, this rod, to the jaws, the face of the jaws. So if it's like that, when it goes into that hollowed out portion, I've gone too far, I need to be leaving a gap. So whatever that gap is, that corresponds to how much I have got left before I turn it into a funnel. So I just push it up, and there's 3/4 of an inch there, maybe even nearly an inch. So I can tell by touch how deep I've got left to go. Time this evening, but really a good idea is before you hollow out is you can apply your lacquer to this finish, whatever you want, whatever your lacquer of choice is, matte, satin, gloss, whatever. I haven't got time, I want to get this hollowed out and stuff, but you get the idea. You would lacquer it, let it set up, and then hollow out and do the inside. So
Jeff says, you're great, Chris. I have your same attitude.
yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Karam says,
Who?
Karam, is
Yeah.
that depth gauge individual to each lathe?
Yes, it is. Obviously, if you have a bigger lathe with a bigger gap between the bedways, you know, that might even fall through the gap. So that has been made. I sent the measurements to Brendan. So, you know, there are some critical measurements. The height of this spindle centre from the bedways, the jaws that you favour using the most, and the chuck, how far it is from the headstock to the face of the jaws. There's only a few critical measurements, but they're critical for that device to be accurate. But I reckon a sighted person could make one in half an hour with some scraps of plywood and wood, a bit of dowel and a locking screw. Half an hour for a sighted person to make, and really, really handy. You know, great addition. So where's Jeff calling from?
I'm not sure. I've followed him. He's called Jeff Christie. He's got a YouTube channel.
Right.
Turning Blind.
Where are you from, Jeffer?
What's your main compressor? What make is it? Do you know?
Yeah, it's a JCB.
JCB. Wayne Bigfoot says he hasn't made Valerie's yet. I presume that's the depth gauge. That's 2 months she's been waiting.
What are you doing, Wayne?
So she scoffs at half an hour. Jeff lives in Kent.
Not that far away, Jeff. Well,
When we're in Sittingbourne.
yeah. So I'm just getting this straight on it. So I'm just making this a nice radius. And again, wait for that lathe to stop completely.
Woodsley Summercraft made a depth gauge for his last lathe and made changes to it to work with his new lathe.
Alright. Cool. How you doing, Rob? Robbery. So we can, again.
Jeff's about 20 minutes from Axminster Sittingbourne.
All right. Well, hopefully we can get. Oh, have we had that demo? Should we have had that demo?
3rd of October we're in Sittingbourne.
3rd of October we're at Axminster Sittingbourne, Jeff. So it would be really cool if you could make that and we can have a chat. It's a busy day for me, but it'd be cool if we could have a chat. We could rant together. Pretty awesome.
Oh, paste wax. Have you put some paste wax
Yeah.
on? Baz is saying, what is it?
Is this Timber Marvels, Baz?
Yeah.
Baz Starkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the beeswax and lemon oil and mineral oil mix. So it acts as a lubricant, a dust suppressor. You can use it with tools, power sanding, hand sanding. Just put my dust mask on now, folks, so apologies. So if you've got some punky tear out, you can use this. I know punky tear out, giving it a good dose of this or sanding sealer will help alleviate a lot of it. Oh, thank you to everybody that sent birthday wishes to Bamba. He's had a lovely day. We have fussed him a lot, and he's had belly rubs and tickles and lots of kisses and hugs. And every 10 minutes we've been going, "It's your birthday!" He's been getting all excited. Just making that tone of voice really nice for him. Give it a dusting. So I like to apply it in between the grits, keep that dust down. And again, this is just going to be sanded to 240. Just turning that air compressor off now.
Flaming Turner says, as the Lord of Fire, Mr. Twidell isn't here. Happy birthday, Chris.
Cheers. Oh dear. That's what I'm doing tomorrow, Nicola.
Cleaning the workshop.
Yay! Happy days.
Yeah.
Going on to the last grit now, 240. Last bit of paste in there. Right, we can get this sealed now. Just for Nicola.
Yeah.
So again, chestnut cellulose sanding sealer. This is what I've used since day one of turning.
You didn't clap, Baz says.
I've got my hands all full of sealer now. Maniac. So Baz, with your recent texturing tool and airbrush acquisitions, you can be employing this technique as well if you haven't already into your work. You probably have. You know, add your texture, apply some black, knock the black back off the high spots, then add another colour. Remember, keep it simple. Your work will look a lot classier and elegant if you just use simple, tried and tested techniques. And don't be greedy for finish. Yeah.
Never heard you say that before.
Don't be greedy for finish, it's my man. It's my mantra. Baz knows that. Do not be greedy for finish. Move that out of the road. It's sort of like the whole less is more. You know, a lot of the time you're just trying to highlight and accentuate, you know, even if you're big into your colouring and texturing, you know, if it's executed, you know, well, it'll pay off. You know, even if you've coloured the whole piece, employ the light, dry brushing technique. You know, just subtle highlights of things work much better than big dollops and globs of everything. You know, as much as I love children, and I remember Charlie doing all his amazing artwork at primary school and stuff, really that's not the look you're going for in your wood turning, like your 5-year-old child's done it. No. Develop a style, a technique, use the products that you know and familiar with, and stick with it. We all like new tools and things and stuff. That's fine, I'm not on about that. I'm on about, you know, the artist in all of us trying to get out, you know. And read about it, you know, get books on art and design and, you know, research and study and read.
We go to the museum, don't we, sometimes?
Yeah, we go to the museum, yeah. Great place for inspiration. And
I describe the stuff to you. I find things that you could use as ideas and describe it to you.
yeah. So museums, obviously you guys, you can go to a museum and take photographs if you're allowed to. And study them and think, how did they get that effect, that texture, that shape? You know, and try and incorporate some of those elements into your work. You know, me being a big fan of sort of like the Viking and medieval scene and all that lot, you know, that helped me do the Merlin bowl, because I've got all these great images in my mind of knights and castles and Merlin and Vikings, and you know, get inspired by the literature, the music, the films, the cinema, the art, the historic relics. You know, get inspiration from wherever you can. And try to step out of your comfort zone, you know, as often as you can, and when you think it's safe to do so. So I'm nearly finished with the Yorkshire Greats. So I'm going to apply the Friction polish, the polish of Friction. Again, just a couple of drops, light pressure at first, and then firmer pressure after a few seconds. Keep moving it in, make sure it's coated. all the parts you need it to. And just again a couple of drops, let it drop on.
What was the size of the bowl blank at the beginning?
About 8 inches I think it was.
Where'd you get your friction polish from?
Chestnut Products. So the Chestnut Products, the cellulose sanding sealer and friction polish I've used since day one, and they work really well for me. So just got a soft brush here. Just give that a bit of a dusting. So there you have it, folks, a very, very simple way to achieve almost a feathered effect. And going with red, obviously it's like the phoenix, the fiery phoenix, but you can choose whatever colour you want. It would look stunning in all of the colours, you know, the blues, the purples, the yellows, the oranges, whatever, you know, your favourite colour is. Do that. It's very simple. Obviously, you know, I would recommend you have a texturing tool. Even if you've got a small one, you can use that. And it's just that swinging action across the tool rest to give that effect. And obviously the head is angled at about 45 degrees whilst you swing it through an arc. So yeah, do your texture, denib it with some shavings, apply your black, knock it back with some abrasive, not too much though, you don't want to flatten the texture, and then you're going to put your red or your blues or your greens, whatever. Very simple, OG.
Eva says it's nothing simple about it. It looks splendid. Wayne the Woodturner, nicely done, Chris.
Cheers, pal.
Debbie Beardo, that looks lovely. Steve Coombs, absolutely beautiful, Chris. Colin, the Crazy Woodman, very nice. I like the colour on it, Eva says.
Thank you.
David McLernan, thanks for the live, Chris, pal. Great piece, well done. Karam says that looks brilliant. Nice work, Chris. Tubby Turner. Georgina, lovely bowl, Chris.
Today's project has been brought to you by the Blind Woodturner Axminster Speed Sizer, available at axminster.co.uk. Shameless plug. Yeah, make marking out your mortises and tenons on your work idiot proof, because I am an idiot. And do it safely and accurately every single time. No more scary caliper action, no more tape measures.
It's like a 1950s advert, this. Anyway, I was reading these out. People are saying how nice it is.
Sorry folks, I was just getting, you know, the
Getting
plug in.
carried away. Eva says she likes the colour. Wayne the Woodturner, hopefully see you all tomorrow lunchtime, 1 PM UK time. Live demo, Wayne the Woodturner. Check out the calendar on Chris's website for all the live demonstrations.
Yeah, Nicola's put a calendar on our website. Yeah, good point.
theblindwoodturner.co.uk/calendar.
Yeah, so the main protagonists, the repeat offenders that are doing the videos, that's Martin and Wayne, Nick, the Flaming Turner.
Maple Tree
Maple
Studios,
Tree.
AH Bespoke.
Yeah, AH Bespoke.
There's a few.
So
but
their
they're all
times are
there
up on
that
our
I know
website.
of.
So if you've got some free time, check out the other demos that are knocking around at the moment.
Karam says that looks brilliant. I'm not sure if I've said now. I'm losing the plot.
The plot.
Caitlin, the cat, says it is beautiful. I love it. Flaming Turner, I'll be trying it with my rotary bits. Looks good, Chris.
Yeah, you can use, yeah, if you've got something, Nick, your rotary bits, you can use them. You know, anything that's, you could even put a very coarse sanding pad on an angle grinder and do that. You know, there's lots of ways you could do it. Yeah, Dremels, spiraling and texturing tools, angle grinders, apply the texture, denib it a bit, otherwise, you know, you're going to have the fuzzies and the you know, it will be a bit rough. So do your texture and make sure it's quite a gnarly coarse texture, because you will be denibbing it, then applying your paints, and then well, your base colour, and then knocking it back. So make it quite a chunky texture to start off with, so you've got enough meat left in the texture to be sanding it back to apply the red or blue or green. But yeah, if you're into your texturing and colouring, give it a go. And obviously you could, you know, put grooves in, you know, and delineations, and then you could put little beads around it, whatever. You know, I've done them like that as well. This was just showing the texturing and the colouring technique, but of course you can embellish it with beads or whatever you want. But
I've got a question. Colin Watson, the Crazy Woodman, he's got a set of Axminster O'Donnell jaws,
yeah,
which they don't assign letters to. Are they covered by the speed sizer?
they will be, and I reckon even those that are horizontal there that are lettered, there might be one of the Axminster letters there that correspond to the O'Donnell ones. So initially you'll have to find out with your caliper, yeah, its safest optimum opening, and then find out which hole corresponds, and then if it is one of the lettered ones, put a little bit of tape on your O'Donnell jaws, and let's say for instance it's H, yeah, and you go, yeah, well, hole H is the same for my O'Donnell jaws, put a little sticker on your O'Donnell jaws, H, so next time you put your O'Donnell jaws on, you can go, ah yeah, these are H, you'll find your H hole, boom, done. And if it's not, these other that are vertical, which are numbered for millimetres, you can say, oh right, well it's hole 60, hole 70, hole 40, whatever, and put a 40 sticker or a 60 or a 70. There should be a hole on here for practically everything. So I'd say yes. Get one, and if it isn't lettered, like you say it isn't, the O'Donnell jaws, just assign it a letter or a number.
It should work with all the Axminster jaws.
Yeah, but if the O'Donnell ones aren't lettered,
yeah,
assign it a letter yourself.
right.
If like I say, the H hole, if the H hole fits your O'Donnells, put a bit of tape or a sticker on your jaws that says H. Job done. So yeah, brilliant. It'll solve that. And then if you're swapping from dovetail jaws to gripper jaws or O'Donnell jaws, assign it a hole. You only have to do it once, and that's it. Right, so I've had a lot of fun. It's been great hanging out with you guys. Thank you so very much for hanging with us and all the questions. Again, thank you for all the birthday wishes for one of the world's most amazing guide dogs, Bamba Matronic, who's in the house now, probably having...
Nick says if he gets one and brings it to Maker Central, will you sign it for him?
What, a speed sizer?
Yeah.
Of course I will. Yeah, with pleasure, mate. So yeah, the 1999. It's not
1996 actually.
Oh, 1996.
Yeah.
Precision engineered. Obviously, it'll last a lifetime. And even Phil Irons said, you know, not only great for, you know, new turners and people that don't want to be doing the whole measuring and dividers. You know, Phil Irons said, just amazingly brilliant for even experienced professional turners and wood turners that have got schools and they teach a lot. You know, imagine if you're having your first bowl lesson and you've got to mark where your tenon or your mortise is.
I like the bit at the top where you've got a hole to hang it on a nail on the wall.
Oh yeah, there you go. Nicholas sold it. It's even got a hole to hang it on a nail in your workshop.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
Yeah, Nicola would buy it just for one of those. So yeah, yeah, by supporting me through this, yeah, what can I say? very much appreciated. But yeah, I know it's not a great time, but there you go.
Pedro, the guide dog, says happy birthday to Bamba as well.
Oh, thank you, Pedro. Is that
Right
it?
then, yeah, I think so.
Right, folks, peace out, love you all, thank you so very much. We're going to go in now and relax and have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give it a go. Let us know. Even do a video of you doing this, Nick, with your rotary tools. That'll be a different take on it. So you can do a video on that technique. And you've got quite a lot of rattle can action going on, haven't you, Nick? So, you know, spray your black base colour on over your texture, let it dry, hit it with your hairdryer like you have been doing, knock it back with some abrasive, and then get a top colour of your choice, a stain preferably, something that's translucent, whether it's water based or you could even use maybe food colouring. There's an idea.
Right then.
Right then.
So tomorrow night, At Home with the Fishers, 7:30 on At Home with the Fishers YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we're back tomorrow night at Home with the Fishers.
Yeah.
Just having a chat.
Yeah.
So thanks. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
I'll just post
and thank you for supporting me. And get yourself one. Work smarter, not harder, like I do. Right, I'm going to turn the camera off.
Well, just let me post this.
All right, Nick was posting something.
That's the link. Right then. Okie doke.
All right, folks. So, thank you so very much. Continue to keep on turning.
And look after yourselves.
Look after yourselves. Keep being inspired and keep pushing the envelope. Remember, if you're not pushing yourself hard, ask yourself why. All right.